Hello everyone, my name is Anish Rana and you are watching RHCE web series. All the tasks included in this playlist will be only for 9.0 version. If you want to contact me, you can write an email at anishrana2001 at the rate rediffmail.com. I have uploaded many repositories on my GitHub page, that is anishrana2001, and you need to click on OpenShift. Let me show you here. Click on anishrana2001. So these are the repositories that I have created for you. Click on OpenShift and then you can see RSC and RSC essay task. This video is for RSC, but we will perform all the questions whatever we have asked in RSC essay. But this time with the help of Ansible, we will perform all the tasks. Okay. So let me show you here what are the tasks that are included in RSCSA. Expand this server A and then click on users and groups. Let's take an example. We want to create two users, Puneet and Rajan, on 100 of nodes. It is not possible for system administrator to create these two users on 100 nodes within 1 or 2 minutes. Right. For this reason, Ansible comes into the picture and we can create a playlist and add all these commands. I will show you, don't worry. So in Ansible, if we execute the Ansible playbook, it will create the users on all the 100 nodes within 1 minute. That's a game changer for automation, right? Ansible is a light tool. And this video is for only for how we can create the lab environment for RSCE. If we are planning to give the exam, then how we can practice at home, right? If we don't have Red Hat Lab. And I will explain what is Ansible and what are the benefit of Ansible on some other videos. But this video is dedicated for how we can create the lab for RSCE. So let me expand this RSCE and then version 9.0 and click on RSC lab.setup. So this page you can take it as a reference, but yes, this video will give you more explanation. And here we will going to create 5 VM. One is workstation and the 4 VMs for nodes. And the username must be student and Red Hat. So let's understand with the help of 3D animation. As I mentioned that in my lab, I have created 5 VM. One is workstation and the other 4 VMs are server A, server B, server C and server D. In Ansible, we create a groups and inside those groups, we add the nodes. Okay. So here lab is one group. The other group is associated with pre-production and server B is attached to this group. Again, we created another group that is production and it is attached with two nodes or 2 VMs, server C and server D. Again, my prod is attached with only one server. So here we can learn that from one group we can add multiple and we can also add groups of group. So it means that when we call web server, it will call production and my prod. Just take an example that in the production environment, you will have multiple nodes, right? So how you can call those nodes? So you can take this example here. Okay. As I mentioned that we will perform all the tasks with the help of Ansible. So we will install Ansible in our workstation VM. From this Ansible, we will going to manage all the VMs, server A, server B, server C, and server D. Okay, and Ansible is agentless. This is the inventory file that we need to create manually. It's called static inventory. There is another dynamic inventory. Okay, here you can see that at the rate are the group name and hyphen hyphen is the node name. So this is what I have already mentioned. Now I have already download and install the virtual box. You can also download and install this virtual box and click on three dots and then click on network. Let me tell you one thing here that if you don't see this network, then you need to click on preference, click on basic and close this. Probably you have used this basic version, so you will not see these things. So click on preference, then click on expert. Once you click on expert, close this window, then again click. Now you can see the network. Okay, now click here. Here, if you click on net network and then create button, after that you can give the name. I have mentioned Airtel network and this is the range I'm using here. After that, I need to enable this DHCP. The problem here is that Why I'm using net network? Because my bridge network is not working on my Apple operating system. For that reason, I created net network. If your bridge network is working, then you don't need to create this. Okay, so you don't need to go to network here. Directly you can create the VMs. So click here, new, and then here you need to give the name. So first VM I'm going to create is workstation. After that, I need to give the path where all the files of this VM will be hosted. Now I have given this here, and I have already downloaded CentOS Stream 9 latest ISO image. Okay, so you just need to give the path here, and the type is Linux, Oracle Linux. Everything is good. Click expand this hard disk and make it 25 instead of 20. 20 will be not sufficient for workstation. Click on hardware. 2048 2 GB RAM is good. One CPU is enough. I believe that everything look fine. Let me finish here, and also I need to modify the network interface, right? So setting network and then change the network. And here I'm using Airtel network. Okay, this is the network I have created. Okay, now everything look good here. And now I need to click on start button here. Now we have created the VM, and on the top of this VM we will going to install the operating system. Here you can use up arrow and down arrow key to select the thing here. Here I have selected install CentOS 9 and then hit enter. Now you need to select English here and then English India. Okay, hit continue button. After that, install destination. Click here. 25 GB is good. Automatic good. So just click on done button, and now the sign warning sign is gone. Now click on root password and give the password. I'm just giving red hat and then again red hat. Allow root SSH login with password enable and then click on done button. Once again, everything look good here. So click on network and host name, and here we will set the host name here workstation.lab.example.com. We have set apply, and now click on configure in the right hand side and disable IPv6 setting method, and it should be disabled. That's it. Save this setting. We don't need, and then done. We can also create the user here, but we will do it after in the second VM. Okay, here we will do manually. Let's click on begin installation. For you it will take some time. Okay, so let's create one VM. Let me show you one thing here. Click on tools here again. Now this server is having issue. I will show you why. Now let me reboot this system for the workstation VM. Reboot system. Let's boot it. Now click on startup. Next, again escape, and here we can give student user. STUDANT. S is capital, but the username is showing all in small. Okay. Click on next button and then give the Reddit password. Now click on next. Start using CentOS Stream. That's great. No thanks. Now click on terminal. Let's check the IP address. The command would be IP space A. Now we can see that this is the IP address. Let me write down this IP address on my notepad so that we can modify the file etc host of this workstation. Workstation.15. Perfectly fine. Let me minimize this window here. And here I can see workstation hostname is good that we have already applied. Everything look good here. So let me minimize here and let me try once again start, and it is giving me error. And how we can delete this? Just right click here and remove and delete all files. All files are deleted. This is how you can delete the VMs. Let me create once again. Click on tools and then new and then give the name server A and folder name that is server A. That's great. ISO image is this one. And here last time I forget to mention the Linux type. So this is the reason I had observed this issue. So now everything look good. 2 GB, one CPU is good. Finish, and hard disk is 20 GB. For node ABCD, 20 GB is enough. So let me start here. Oh yes, setting, network, and select the right network, and it is empty desktop, adapter type, click OK. You can check by your own, click on start button. Again, English, installation destination. It is bit different here. We will going to use custom here, and then click OK, done button, and then expand this and use standard partition. After that, you need to click on plus sign button here. Mount point should be slash boot EFI. Let's give it to 500 MB. Click on add mount point. Again, select the plus button sign and create the swap partition 500 MB. Let's give it 500 MB is enough. Yes, and click again. And now this time we will use slash means root partition, and desired capacity would be 18 GB would be good. Okay, 2.31 GB is available. So let's increase to 16 to 17. I believe that 18 would be more. So let me give it 17 here. It would be good. And how many free space will be left so that we will create the LVM partition. Okay, now 1.31 GB is available. It's good. So everything look good here for me. Let's click on done button here. Now if you're not using slash boot EFI, it will give you error. Okay, accept changes. Click on root password, giving the password, allow root, all will be same. Click on network and hostname. Here we will going to configure only disable the IPv6. That's it. And this time we are not going to give any host name. The reason behind is that we will going to clone this VM. Okay. So click on done button and let's create the user here so that we don't need to create the user inside. Okay. Student, uncheck, and then give the password red hat. That's it. Done and again done. And let's begin installation. Let's click on reboot system. Click on student user. Now student user is there. Give the password red hat. You can ignore this warning. No thanks. Click on terminal and now check the IPA command. Now it is getting 16 IPA. Okay. Let me minimize this window here. Also, we are going to shut down this VM so that we will clone this VM. The clone should be in offline mode. Clone, work smarter, not harder. We are not going to create all the VMs one by one. Okay. Server B, give the right path, full clone, and here we will select generate a new MAC address. So all the cloned VM will be having a new IP address. Click on finish and it will take some time to clone this VM, probably 20 to 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute. So let me create all the VMs one by one. Now we have 4 VMs. Let me power on all the VMs parallelly. If your PC do not have enough RAM, then you can power it on one by one. Okay. Okay. So let's log in into this student, switch to root user, and now we can see that the host name is localhost and this IP, it is getting 6.16 IP address, right? Let me write down this IP address and it is server A is having 16 IP, and let's me modify here host name CTL space set hyphen host name, and this is my server A. So server A dot lab dot example dot com. Hit enter and now execute the command hostname CTL. I should see the new name. Now it is good here. So we need to run this command on all our VMs. Now we can see server A here, right? So let me execute this command on all the servers one by one. Now these are the IP address of my VMs. So let me modify the etc host file. I have already copied the content. So let me modify the IP address. So yes, modify workstation is 15, server A is 16, 17, 18. Let's create. And also I have created the netted network, right? So for that reason, I need to open the port forwarding. So in my Mac OS, I'm just executing this command. So this is my workstation here, right? So I'm forwarding the port for workstation only, and we will install the Ansible on workstation, and this workstation VM will manage all the VMs. So I need to SSH only on workstation VM from my laptop machine. So I'm opening only the port for workstation only. Okay. So this is the command for forward the port from 2222 to 22, and the IP address is 15. So let me modify the IP address. It is 4, so let me modify to 15. Okay, that's it. VirtualBox manage net network modify hyphen net name. Airtel network is my netted network name, right? And it is forwarding the port 2222 to SSH port number, that is 22. That's it. Let me show you here. Click on tools, network, and this is my Airtel network. Okay, this is the name that you need to mention over there. If you are using Windows, then you need to find the command. It is blank. Blank means 127.0.0.1 IP. Okay, and how we can verify? If you execute this command, you will see that this SSH port is forwarding to from 2222 to 22. Okay, that's great. I have downloaded. It's a PuTTY connection manager. You can use your own. So I'm just creating one host 127.127.0.0.1. Continue. It is the host name, and label I'm just setting workstation so that I can remember the VM name, right? Username should be student and the password is Red Hat. Now here I have mentioned 2222 port number, and it will forward the port to 22. Okay. Click on connect button. I had already created and that VM is deleted. So let me replace this key, and now I have successfully logged in into my workstation VM. That's great. If I execute IPA, I will see my 15 IP address is there. That's perfectly fine. Now we can also check whether we are able to reach, or before that, let me switch to root user and then create one file etc host file. So let me switch to root user here and modify the etc host file. So this is the two lines are available. Let me modify. Let me append all these lines here. So cat greater than sign and then etc host and paste these files. Hit enter and control C. Now I this these lines will be the part of this file. Okay. And now we can check whether we are able to ping from the name server A. Yes, 16 IP address is there. Server B is 19. Server C should be 70. That's great. And server D should be 18 IP. That's perfectly fine. We are able to reach. So connectivity is good. We can able to reach from workstation to other VMs. Now let me exit from the root user, and now the next step would be passwordless authentication. We can do with the help of SSH keygen file. Okay, so now the key is generated, and now I need to copy this file into my server A, server B, server C, and server D VMs. How we can copy one by one? There is again one command that we can use here. It is ssh copy id. Student is the username and server is the destination server name. Hit enter, yes, and give the password Red Hat. Same thing I'm just doing for B, C, and D VMs. Now all are good. So let me do SSH post check student at the rate server A. I can able to reach. That's great. Control D to exit from here. Server B, yes. Control D. So our passwordless authentication is working fine. The next step would be to escalate the privileges of student user. And how we can escalate the privileges? We can add this student user in the vi sudo file, right? The easiest way is that you can log in into this ssh into server A, then switch to root user. Now I'm with root user. If I ls etc sudo dot d directory, I will see nothing here, right? So let me create one file here. So this is the command, and just add this student all no password. We don't require any password, right? Okay. So no password is will be prompt. Save this file. So it will save. It will create a new file. Afterward, we can give the right privileges. So chmod 440 to this file, and how we can validate or we can check the syntax of whatever we have added in this file. The command would be vi sudo minus c is for syntax check. Everything look good. Okay, okay. So let me exit from root user and check sudo who am I. I'm logged in by student user, right? But here it is showing root. It means that whatever the changes we have done is good. Now exit from here. Same steps we need to do it on B, C, and D directory. Let me do it very fast. Now all look good here. Next, we need to install the Ansible binaries, and we will going to install the Ansible by student user only. And how we can install? Let's go to etc yum dot repos dot d directory ls space ltr. We have CentOS repo, right? Get this file. Now you can see that CRB is here and enable equal to 0. It means that it is disabled. This is what I have mentioned here. And how we can enable it? Set enabled. It will be enabled. Let me show you and give the password red hat because we used sudo. So this is the command. Let me get again. And now you can see that enable is equal to 1. 1 means enabled. 0 means disabled. And the other are 0. Okay, so this is what I executed the command. We can also modify with the help of vi command, right? We can edit, modify from 0 to 1. Now if we execute this command dnf repo list grep crb, we can see this thing. That's great. Now the next step is to install some prerequisites. So python 3 gcc and oni gruma packages are required. So let me install this. If you're using CentOS 9, then yes, these are the steps. Okay, it is completed successfully. Let me clear the window, and now we are going to install the Ansible with the help of pip. Pip install Jinja 2, Ansible Runner, Ansible Lint, Ansible Builder, and Ansible Navigator. In the closed environment, you just need to install some packages. I will show you. Okay, don't worry. This is how we can create the lab for our own users. Okay, now we have installed the Ansible. If I execute the command ansible hyphen version, I can see that 2.15 and it is using config file is none. We can also check more information dnf info ansible core. So ansible core, it will take some time, it will execute. Now you can see that ansible core is in 2.14.18 version, and all these details are here. You can see more details. Okay, so let's move forward here. Now we have installed the ansible, and if you go to my page, GitHub page, Anishan 2001, and click on OpenShift repository. I don't know why I'm telling you this thing again, but yes, click on RHCE, then expand this v9 and install and configure the Ansible. In closed environment, you need to install these packages in step 2. As per this task, we need to create the inventory. So in inventory, we mention the node name and associated with groups. Which groups are associated with which node name, right? So lab is the group host group name, and server A is the node name. Pre-prod is the host name, and server B is the node name. In inventory files, maybe we have 100 or 1000 of nodes are there. This time we are creating a static inventory, but in production environment we will have a dynamic inventory. But it's a lab creation, so we can use a static inventory creation file. Okay. And in this task, it has asked us to create the Ansible configuration file. So we also need to modify, or maybe first we need to create the dummy configuration file, and then we will modify this configuration file. And I will let you know what are the rules and collections. But yes, let's perform this question, how we can complete this task. And here it is asked us to create the inventory in the Ansible directory. As of now, slash home student directory is there, and these are the group name that we need to create in the inventory file. So my prod will be associated with server D and production, and my group will be the part of web server group, host group. Okay. And here it is saying that again, create the configuration file on student Ansible directory. First, we need to create this directory Ansible. Inventory will be the file, and my rules will be the directory, and my collection will be the directory. So first, create this directory. We can use mkdir minus p option to create the blank directory, and then beneath that there will be a directory. Okay. So we can use here mkdir cd mkdir minus p and paste this command here. Or let me show you one thing here, ls space ltr slash home slash student. There is no directory with the Ansible. Okay. So if we going to create my roles, it will giving us error. So for that reason, we again use minus p option here. Okay. So it will create a Ansible directory, and inside this Ansible, we will have my roles directory will be created here. Let me show you here, ls space ltr. Now you can see my roles directory is there. Let me create my collection directory. This is what it has asked us, that we need to create this directory, and inside this collection, we will install the collection. So let me use touch command to create the file. For creating the directory, we use mkdir, make dir. For creating the file, we use touch command. Okay. And again, we need to create this configuration file. Let me tell you how we can create this file. In the closed environment, you need to install these packages. Make sure, please remember these packages name. And also you need to log in to utility.lab.example.com podman login. All the information will be provided in the first page in the closed environment. Don't worry. Okay. So Podman, you need to log in so that it will download the images for Ansible Navigator. These are the steps we have already done. And yes, if you want to use Vim instead of VI, then you need to use this thing here. Let me show you one thing here. CD home directory and dot vim dot slash vim. There is no file. Okay. So let me create this file here, vi dot slash vim rc, and paste this command. Auto cmd auto command will be completed. File type would be YAML. Set local, and just remember ts equal to terminal server. Terminal server equal to 2. Again software terminal server equal to 2. Again software equal to 2. So ts is terminal server. Just remember this thing. And then expand tab. You need to set some logic to remember this. Terminal server s terminal server. So software terminal server, and software is sw. So sw will be remember. Okay. Now, how we can generate the dummy Ansible config file? The command would be ansible-config space init, and these are the values that we need to modify. Let me create the dummy configuration file for you. So ansible-config space init space hyphen hyphen disable, not disabled, and then redirect to ansible.config file. Let me show you here, cd ansible, and now we don't have ansible.cfg file, right? Ansible hyphen config init hyphen hyphen disable, everything will be disabled. Okay, redirect to ansible.cfg file. We are already in the ansible directory, right? So we can use directly the file name. Hit enter. Now vi ansible.cfg, this is the file. Here you need to find the inventory, and this semicolon means comment. So we have to uncomment this line, okay, and tell this configuration file where you will find the inventory file. Our inventory file will be in this present directory, right? So dot slash is the representation of present directory. Let me go up here. So it says inventory is here and my roles. And here you need to search roles underscore path. Hit enter. Uncomment this line. It means that you need to remove the semicolon and then remove this. Don't worry, in the closed environment, you will see this like equal to, not curly braces. Collection underscore path. Again, modify this and just mention dot. Okay, dot slash my collections and remove. Here I have saved, not exit. The reason behind is that we have added inventory, my roles, and my collection. The fourth point is privilege escalation. So escalation, we can search this escalation keyword. In the closed environment, you have to do it like this way. Escalation, hit enter. Now become method, become equal to true, uncomment this, uncomment this, uncomment this. Okay. Uncomment those variable which has value for the escalation one. And remote user should be student user here, because I'm logging by student user. But if you are using Red Hat Lab and still watching this video, then you must use DevOps as a remote user. Okay, otherwise you will not able to perform any question. If you're using your own lab, then use student, and here remote user should be student for your own lab. Now everything look good here. Let's execute this command ansible hyphen hyphen version. This time configuration file is showing me here slash home student ansible slash ansible dot cfg file. That's great. The configuration file, whatever we have mentioned, it is reading by this when we execute the ansible hyphen hyphen version command. Now it's time to create the inventory file. And how you can create the inventory file? It is blank. So let me create here. Let me modify this file here. How you can mention the group name? It should be in the bracket. Okay. And this is my group name, and these are my node name. Server C and server D. This is my group name, and this is my node name. Again, this is my group name, and then the part of other group name will be comes with the children. So web server is my another group name, and children, which are our children, production and my prod. It means that production and my prod will be the part of web server group. Okay, let me copy and paste over there so that I can avoid typo. Now save this file, wq for write and quit. And now if I execute this command, enable all minus m ping. M means module. Which module I'm using? Ping module. Okay. So it is saying that fingerprint, it is says yes, it's good, successful, but for server B and D is having issue. Let me execute this command once again. And what is happening here, that SSH known host is having some issue. Okay. So what we can do, let's go back to this directory. Dot dot means previous directory, and dot is stand for hidden file, hidden directory. And here I can see that server B, server C, and server D is having same key. So let me remove this. We are in lab environment, so we can delete all the content of this file, right? This is the benefit of working on lab environment. So let me modify here vi known host and remove all the keys. So you have to do R&D when you are going to create your own lab. Okay, and let's go and execute. This hyphen is for previous directory where you are coming from. Okay, student SS server A. Yes, let me add all the fingerprints. Again, it is saying that having error. So I don't think so that it will resolve this issue. Let me check. Yes, same error message we are getting here. What we can do here, Control C and remove the old known host file and new file. Let's see, check whether it resolve the issue or not. rm space dot alt, and also empty this file. How you can empty, how you can remove the content, this file you can use greater than sign, right? Known host. Now go back to previous directory and execute this command, ansible all minus n. Yes, now it is showing yes. Again say yes, it is successful. Yes, maybe there is some fingerprint issue, I don't know what is this, but let me execute this command again. It is not asking us, right? But you blindly, I just press yes, and it took me. If I execute this command now, I can see that all are successful. So it this means that we have installed the Ansible and we created the inventory file, we created the configuration file, all are in good shape. This is how you can create the lab for RHCE for your own purpose. If you like this video, please like this video. And if you want all the tasks, you have to purchase my membership, that is only 119 rupees in Indian rupees. And with this 119 rupees, you will get EX316, EX380, RSC essay. All videos will be there in this package. Okay. And for DO280, or you can say that EX280, all videos are already uploaded on my YouTube channel for publicly available. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye bye.